What comes to your mind when you hear the word lazy? Is it a guy laying down eating Cheetos on a couch watching TV? Is it a guy sitting on a box with a chair inside of that box because he's too lazy to put that chair together? Is it a guy who's too lazy to get up and get the remote for the TV? There's a theme here. I think guys are all lazy. Am I right, ladies? We're in week 3 of this series called Underestimated, the sins we downplay, but God doesn't. We're taking a look at actions that are not the quote-unquote big sins. They're actions that we downplay in our lives, and honestly, many of us probably don't consider the things that we've been talking about over the series to be actually sins. Is that the way that you think about that word lazy or the term laziness? Do you even think laziness is a sin? Most likely, I'm thinking you don't think it's a sin. Laziness is oftentimes referred to or thought of as a life choice. You can be lazy or not, and it's no big deal, right? In fact, it can be funny, like these pictures I'm going to show you. Homer Simpson on a Nike logo with the statement, "Can't someone else just do it?" Or the phrase, "Don't be mad at lazy people, they didn't do anything." Or this one, "I could stop being lazy, but I'm too lazy to do it." Honestly, laziness can be funny sometimes, but laziness can also be pretty sad. In our day-to-day lives, laziness can keep you from getting a good job. It can keep you from getting the grades that you want. It could keep you from making the team. It could keep you from getting along in the relationships with your friendships and your family. Laziness also goes a bit deeper than that as well. Laziness is the hidden enemy to our spiritual lives. And it doesn't always just show up by doing nothing, right? Oftentimes, laziness is when you are doing just less than what you are called to do, or when we're being half-hearted in our efforts, or when we avoid the things that really matter most. See, spiritual laziness can make us indifferent towards God's work and the needs of others, and keep us really from positively impacting the world around us. So let's consider today if we have been underestimating this topic of laziness in our lives. And so let me start off by defining the word lazy. I know you know what it means, but let me define it. Lazy is unwilling to work or use energy, or characterized by a lack of effort or activity, or showing a lack of effort or care, or just simply slow moving. And so laziness, in terms of laziness is the condition or state of being unwilling to work. So biblically speaking, when you read the Bible, you will oftentimes see this word lazy or laziness with a synonym, and that word is sloth. When it comes to the topic of laziness, there is a thin line that you have to walk, right? Laziness or sloth is not to be confused with such terms as idleness and rest, or procrastination, or even apathy. See, idleness and rest, when it comes to what that means, is if you think about it in terms of a car. When a car is in idle, it means it's moving, it's coasting, but it's barely doing that. It's just barely moving. Sometimes we need to be idle in our lives. We need to stop going full speed and find the time that we need to rest and recuperate. The Bible calls this time of rest Sabbath. It's taking rest from your hard-earned, from your hard work to reflect, to rest, and to enjoy the world that God made. When it comes to that other word, procrastination, that I mentioned, procrastination isn't always necessarily laziness. Oftentimes, procrastinators, such as myself, are busy doing so many other things that they forget or put off other work. And then when it comes to that work, me or you, or if you're a procrastinator, may seem lazy because you haven't been doing any work towards that other work. Apathy is a completely different topic. Apathy is when you simply just don't care. You can be lazy and be apathetic, or you can be busy and be apathetic. When it comes to apathy, the main conversation is making sure that you care about the things that God cares about. And I say all these different things to explain that laziness, when it really comes down to it, is not necessarily just an issue of action or inaction. It does include those things. But really, laziness is an issue of the heart. As the definition says, it's an unwillingness to work or a lack of care for what's important in life. And you shouldn't judge someone or even judge yourself simply based on actions, on external actions. And really, we'll explore this topic of laziness more in terms of evaluating our own tendencies and how we underestimate our own laziness in our lives rather than thinking about how someone else in your life might be a lazy person. So turn the mirror and look at the mirror and look at yourself in terms of this topic today. What I want you to do is get to the heart of the matter in your life. And here's a question that I want you to consider. Within reason, are you giving your best to what matters most? Within reason, are you giving your best to what matters most? Now, first, let me explain why I use that phrase within reason at the start. You should work hard. All right, you should work hard, but you should also rest as well. God intends you to take time off to rest. So if you think you have to go hard with everything 24/7, and you don't have to do that. And don't let someone else consider or think of you as lazy if you're taking your well-deserved rest to take a break from what you're doing. Next, are you giving your best to what matters most? Are you giving your best to the things that are most important? So you may not be lazy. You may work hard at sports or social media or video games. Not all bad things. But let me ask you, are you lazy with what matters most? Are you putting effort and prayer into your family and your friendships? If you're a Christian, are you reading your Bible and praying often and regularly? Are you working hard at your education to better yourself and your future? As you're considering if you have been underestimating laziness in your life, don't just ask yourself, am I a lazy person? Generalize, am I a lazy person? No. Ask yourself, am I lazy about the things that should matter most in my life? And now that we've had time to think about that, let's go to the Bible and consider what the big deal is when it comes to this topic of laziness. In the book of Romans, chapter 12, the author is a follower of Jesus named Paul. And Paul, he's calling us to live a life of passion and enthusiasm and service. He challenges us to break free from the grip of laziness and really to live with purpose for what God is asking us to do in this life. Here, let me read you that passage from Romans 12. It says, don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. And here it comes. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. So the first thing that we can take away from this passage is laziness hinders genuine love and action. The passage said it this way, don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. See, laziness often leads us to shallow, half-hearted approach to loving others. We might say we love people, we might even think we love people, but laziness really does keep us from actively showing God's love to others. Because see, real love takes effort, it takes time and energy and sacrifice. See, imagine for a moment if someone says that they care about you or says that they love you, but that person never takes time to check in on you. They don't call you or text you to wish you a happy birthday. They go up to, order something to eat or drink. They don't come back with anything for you. Is that real care? Is that real love? No, right? Laziness leads us to offer others surface level love, not real, genuine, active love that God asks us to give to others that makes a difference in their lives. And as much as you don't want people doing that to you, loving you with just saying they love you, again, turn this inward, turn this back on yourself. Are you loving others in that way? Do you simply say that you love your friends or your family or even those who are hurting or in need? You just say it, or are you really acting lovingly towards those people? If not, then that's just laziness coming out. Paul challenges us to hate what is wrong, including laziness, and cling to what is good, which involves actively loving others. Are you holding back from the love because it requires too much effort? Stop doing that, because genuine love requires us to push past laziness and engage fully. All right, moving on. Another point that stands out to me from this passage is laziness drains enthusiasm. The passage said it this way: never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Right? Paul directly addresses laziness right here, urging us to really reject it. Instead, work hard at serving the Lord. Laziness makes us sluggish in our spiritual lives. It really drains us of our joy, of our enthusiasm, and prevents us from giving God our absolute best. Now, there's a verse in the Old Testament, in the book of Proverbs, that tells us how laziness does this, how laziness drains our enthusiasm. Check this out. In chapter 15 of Proverbs, it says, "A lazy person's way is blocked with briars, but the path of the upright is an open highway." Now, what this passage is getting at is laziness really creates obstacles in our path, like briars or thorns on a mountain trail. Laziness makes even the simplest tasks seem just really overwhelmingly difficult. But in contrast, the diligent, the people who are actively moving in life, they're walking in an open path, free of obstacles, because they're willing to put in the effort. This passage from Proverbs paints a really good picture of what's going on when it comes to laziness. Imagine walking on a path, right? You're hiking, you're on Crowder's Mountain or wherever you do your hiking, right? But it's overgrown. There's bushes coming in from the sides on this path, and these bushes are filled with thorns. If that was the case, you'd be moving pretty slowly, right? You'd be making sure that you didn't get cut or stuck on thorns. Laziness creates those kind of obstacles in our spiritual life, preventing us from moving forward at the speed or the way that God wants us to, with purpose. See, laziness makes us feel like even serving God is just too hard. There's too much effort, and I'm not going to do it. But God calls us to serve him with joy, with enthusiasm, not with reluctance. So ask yourself, when it comes to laziness, are you serving God with excitement? Or has laziness blocked your path? Now, there's one more thing that I noticed from this passage that I want to share with you. Laziness limits our ability to serve and help others. The passage we read said it this way: when God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. See, laziness leads us to a self-centered life. It's all about me. Instead of being ready and eager to help others, see, laziness keeps us focused on ourselves and our own comfort and what matters most, to us instead of others. Paul calls us to be proactive in our faith, which means being proactive in helping those around us. He says that we should be ready to help, which requires preparation and effort. However, laziness keeps us from being ready. It makes us say, you know what? I'll help later, or someone else can take care of that problem, or someone else can take care of it, right? And this is where we may not want to just look at laziness from the external perspective. But ask ourselves, are we being lazy about what matters most? See, you could be doing a lot of good things, but you may be missing out on the great things of life or the great things God has for you because of laziness. And this is how I want to close with you today. Laziness, it's subtle, right? It creeps up on you, but it is a powerful force. It can really block your spiritual growth and effectiveness. The passages that we read today from the Bible tell us to reject laziness and instead live with genuine love, enthusiasm, and really a readiness to serve those around us. And the Bible reminds us that laziness creates obstacles in our path, but those who work diligently will walk on a clear and open road. So God is asking you to break free from laziness and step into a life of passion and purpose, to hold on to hope, to stay diligent in prayer, to actively and lovingly serve others, and overcome laziness by living a life fully devoted to God. So as we close, I want you to do three things. All right. First, examine your heart and your life. Reflect not just on your life as a whole, like I said, but are there areas where laziness has crept into what matters most? Are you holding back from your relationship with God? Or are you refraining from reading or praying, or just because it's inconvenient or it takes effort? Second, take one step towards fighting against laziness today. Choose one way to actively combat laziness this week, whether it's committing to more consistent prayer life, Maybe you pick up our Daily Dose of Awesome if you don't join us in person, or you can find the link through our Instagram account to the Daily Dose of Awesome, or you could sign up to volunteer somewhere, show love to somebody in your household or somebody around you in need, whatever it is. Take one step today towards diligently, enthusiastically serving God. And third, ask for God's help. Just ask him. Pray for a renewed enthusiasm. Pray for a renewed passion. Pray for a spiritual life and just a life in general that is dedicated to God. Ask God to help you break free from the briars or the whatever's blocking you in your life that's leading to laziness, so you can walk a life of faithfulness to God. Well, I hope through our conversation today you can see that laziness, that we've maybe been underestimating it. Laziness is a big deal. It may seem like a quote-unquote small sin, but it's not. Laziness has the potential to hinder your relationship with God and your relationship with others. So let's break free from the trap of laziness and serve God with all our hearts, making a meaningful impact on the world around us. And to that end, let me pray for you as we close. God, thank you for the truth from your word and the encouragement from your word. Laziness is something that just the path of least resistance. Doing nothing is sometimes so much easier than doing anything, doing something. And God, I pray that anybody listening who has a relationship with you would remember that you are a God that calls us to action. You are a God that wants us to partner with you to impact this world and change it for the better. You have a life full of purpose for us, and I pray that we do not miss out on that purpose simply because we're not willing to put in the effort. So help us to break free from laziness and help us to give our lives in faithfulness and enthusiasm to you and to those around us. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.